Hello everyone, welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week, we want to talk a little bit more about crafting and gathering. Yes, that's right, we do talk about these things when they matter.
Woo!
Hey, there he is. We did a little pre-recorded segment with Ashe. As you guys know, whenever we have him on the show, it's very difficult to have him on live, but we'll be talking about that in a bit. Afterwards, Slyh has a bunch of shit he added to the fucking show at the last second for some reason, but it's okay because...
Really? Wait. You're going to say that after you drop shit on me how soon before the show?
We recorded this Sunday.
No, I'm talking about last week where I didn't get a script until when?
Well, you should have been,
Wait, no, but you get the shit to Ethis. But...
No, yeah, I gave it to Ethis like 2 hours before you, and then I gave it to you.
Yeah.
Well, it was lore. I need to make sure he agreed with it first before I gave it to you. I was just making sure he proofread it so it was even better when it got to you. But now that I've been talking to you this whole time, and I haven't even introduced you yet... First of all, I am one of the hosts, Michael, Mr. Happy Poperomo, and joining me as per usual is the very, very, very intrusive to my intros, Slyh, aka Slythefox, aka Slyakagreyfox, aka you, my boy Blue. How you doing today, Slyh?
I'm doing good.
How are you?
Yes.
Tell me more.
Yeah, we get to talk about money.
Yeah, we get to talk about money. Guys, just so you know, this is like probably the hardest show for us to do. This is definitely the most taxing show that we ever do. Like, every time we do it, it's by far the hardest show. I don't know. It's just, it's rough. It's rough to talk about crafting and gathering 2 days ago and then sit here for 45 minutes and listen to us
do some gathering while we're talking about it.
You know, Mel asked me what you do when we do these kind of segments, too. And I was like, I don't know, probably plays the game, I imagine. I want to play Destiny, but, I mean, not Destiny, Division.
Division.
God, why do they both have to start with D? Can these motherfuckers have names that was like not beginning with D? Like, not everybody needs the D. Alright? So anyway, on this episode, we are, as we said, going to be doing a crafting and gathering segment with Ashe10. As you can see, Ashe is not here. He does not really join us live for these things, because it's like 1 a.m. his time right now. And he's got school in the morning, so it's, you know, it's not practical to ask him to be on for an entire show and then ask him to go fulfill his obligations the morning after. So what we do whenever we have Ashe on the show for crafting and gathering is actually do a pre-recorded segment, and then Slyh and I sit here and jerk off for 45 minutes while we wait for it to finish, and then we continue the show.
Speak for your fucking self.
What else would you call gathering?
Really?
I'm asking you a question.
Making money, doing something productive instead of jerking off?
Listen, that's a matter of perspective, all right? Wait, no. You don't get to shake your head at me. You don't get to do it.
This is what I deal with every fucking show.
Every show. They deal with it too, Slyh. They're here for the show. So that's 5 minutes. What do you do with the other 40? Oh, Foxglove Market, enough said. Okay, well, I guess you can talk about that afterwards, because...
Oh, yes.
Yes, so Slyh also added a bunch of stuff at the end of the show. He told me pretty much about 30 minutes ago that he just said, oh, let's talk about these things also. And
mind you, I told you about one of these things last week before you had to go off the
that was the conversations with Mr. Happy part. Yeah. You said we were just going to do that next week, which I remember. I remember that one. I remember that. I'm here for Ethis. Well, you're going to be lost. So anyway, we're pretty much just going to get started with this. Let's not delay it any longer. The second half of the show, we're going to talk about the lack of the feast, which we thought was going to be a topic today, but it is not. We'll also talk about a little bit about Savage, not much, just because there's a screenshot that I want to go over real quick, and my predictions that shit's going to be dead tonight or tomorrow. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later after that. But we have a bunch of stuff to talk about, so it's going to be a good show. We are, however, going to switch over. I just need a second. You might actually hear my voice start up here in a second. One day I'll find out.
Hello, everyone.
Yep, there it is. Hello! I just scared the shit out of myself. Listening to my playback, like, in it go like that. I'm not going to lie, I scared the ever-loving ish out of myself. It was like, you weren't there, so you don't know. Alright. And then, wow, that is the best freeze frame of my face and your face and Ashe's face that's ever existed. I will gladly wait until you catch up on the big screen to see this right here. And then I will...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you look pissed. You're like, what the fuck you make me do this Sunday? This Sunday afternoon. this Sunday night.
That question will be answered this Sunday night.
Yeah, no, it's like, how rich is Ashe10? That question will be answered this Sunday night. We'll never let John Cena go. He's our Leo DiCaprio. We will never let him go. Congrats on the Oscar, by the way, Leo.
You say that like he plays 14. We don't know. We don't know.
No,
he might be a warrior.
He probably does. He's probably
he might be a warrior.
He's probably a scholar.
Nah.
On that note, guys, I'm going to mute my microphone. Sly, mute your microphone. And we're just going to play this segment, and we'll be back in 45 minutes. All right. See you in 45 minutes. Hello, everyone who is just watching this live and is now watching this pre-recorded segment. I always love coming into these, like going from, hey, guys, by the way, we're live, but now we're going to show you this video, and then Sly and I are going to be lazy for the rest of the show. It's a great feeling to do that live. So, hello, future me and future Sly. I hope you're enjoying sitting back and doing nothing. This is a special segment. I introduced him before, but I'll let him introduce himself right now. Ashe, welcome back to the show, my man. How are you doing today? How has the patch been for you thus far?
Thank you. I'm doing really good, and the patch is really nice, both raid-wise and other stuff. Everything is nice.
Everything's nice. Oh yeah. So just so you guys know, apologies if his camera's a little dark. I feel like Ashe is like our number one. Like, we love having him on every time. One time it's the microphone. One time it's the camera.
It's a cam.
Yeah.
Every time. But oh no, see, that's perfect right there. That light just there. That was perfect. I like that.
Yeah, when Sly's camera turned up,
We just need a picture of Sly on your monitor at all times.
Yeah.
He
I light up everyone's
Your living room is pretty bright. I got to admit, your living room is pretty bright right now. I'm not used to seeing that. But anyway, we bring Ashe on whenever a new patch comes out, whenever there's new crafting and gathering stuff to talk about, because he is our aficionado, I believe is the word for it, for crafting and gathering. So, Ashe, I'm going to ask you this because I ask you this every time you come on the show, and you seem to be very, very happy with this patch crafting-wise so far. How much gil do you have now?
1.3.
1.3, okay, and how much of that has been made since the patch started?
To 0.2.
0.2, so 200 million since the patch.
Yes.
Okay. That's what everyone's going to want to know how you did.
Wait. Another thing before that, how much crafted gear have you had to make?
Around 50 or something like that.
Did you make them for your static, or did you make them go elsewhere? Like you guys are no. That's
Both.
not.
I made partially the accessories
Okay.
for the static, and the other pieces we had other members that were thankfully had the requirements to craft, so they
Good.
did the weaver.
But then they're gonna steal from your market when they're done making it for themselves. You gotta put the
exactly.
hammer down. How are you said you're static? How are you doing in Savage?
Nice. I declared A7 Savage today.
All right.
Congrats.
There's a screenshot of A8 Savage that I shared with you guys just before the show got started. We're going to talk about that on the live segment a little bit, unless, of course, A8 Savage dies before then, in which case we'll bring that up on the live segment. But thoughts? Don't say anything in particular because we still got the surprise for later. But initial thoughts upon seeing it, just in one phrase?
Oh, shit.
Oh, scary, just scary.
I like that. You guys have something to look forward to on the live show, because when we bring that picture up, Sly and I are going to have quite a few things to say, especially when it comes to friggin' Voltron, Megazord, Transformers references.
Whatever you want to call it.
You know that
names.
Brute Justice, that actually it is directly a Transformers reference, the entire fight.
Yeah.
It's all named after parts of or different Transformers like Bruticus and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone make sure I know that. That's the only reason I do. So, now that we have Ashe on, and before I knock my water over again, I'm going to take a sip and put it over here.
Yeah,
I knocked it over just before I called you guys, so figured I'd let you guys know that. So we're going to be talking about gathering and crafting, how it's evolved, how it's different this patch, if it's better, if it's worse. Although I'm sure everyone can tell by the smile on Ashe's face when he talks about how much money he makes that it's doing better this patch.
Of course it is.
So we always like to start with gathering because it's the section where Sly and I look less dumb. Because it's the thing that Sly and I have actually done out of Disciples of Hand and Land. So I actually haven't been on top of Gathering yet this patch, only because it just feels like there's so many other ways for me to make money that are reliable that I haven't had to do Gathering very much. So Sly, I actually want you to lead into this because you told us after the patch in one of the episodes, Ethis and I were giving you shit. You said you were actually doing favors, so.
But you didn't believe me.
But
I
still don't believe you. But at least you said that you did it, so you can lead us into the Gathering topic.
There's video proof of it. There's video proof. That's all I'm saying.
There's also video proof of you getting a bunch of shit for free, but it's potato here.
So Ash, how has Gathering changed in 3.2? Because to me, it's honestly the same. If anything, I just noticed that I've made a little bit, like the same money that I've made before 3.2 on favors. I'm still making that money.
But the question is, have you got the folklore notes unlocked? If you have, then you're in the money. Because all the folklore notes, the new items required for the new battle gear that we craft, the 221s, all of them need those folklore notes to gather the materials for this new gear. So if you have it unlocked already, you're in the money. Otherwise, you will have to spend a lot of time, first of all, to unlock them to be worth, because there is nothing new other than new notes for the folklore books.
Yeah, and that kind of got to me. You're saying that's in the money, and you're saying you actually made the same amount of money off favors. I haven't heard anybody talking about favors, red scripts. I mean, I literally have heard no mention of them since the patch dropped. Everyone's too busy talking about materia and
favors are much better now, let me tell you, because
every time I talk to you, they're better, Ash. Every time I talk to you, they're better than the last time.
Yeah, let me explain, because now that crafting is more worth, because there are new recipes, new better battle gear than, for example, these are as good as Alexander normal. You don't even need to do your weekly if you can manage to craft these. So now more people want to get into the end game crafting and 3-star, for example. That's why the favors are more worth, because more people want to gear up and use these favor items to maybe craft their crafting sets. Because the crafting gear is still gated behind favors and red scripts.
When we get to crafted gear, we'll talk about. I mean, technically, even with gathering gear, it's still gated behind red scripts as well. It seems like the people who were hardcore about it, it didn't matter because they did it before because they were bored for all 3.1. It's just the people coming into it now have to think about how many weeks of red scripts is going to take me, or how many materials can I just sell and buy it off the market board at this point?
Yeah, exactly. You can just do favors. This way you don't have to farm weeks and weeks to get your red script gear. Instead, you can go the crafted route, the 170 ones.
Now, one thing that people haven't really talked about are the new nodes. I've only heard a few people talk about it.
Including you, Ash.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Are the new nodes making good money still, or has?
Oh yeah.
I saw Lumithrite though. Lumithrite was so cheap on my server. Do you have to craft it into the higher section?
Really, in my server they are still like 50k each, and you need 6 of them to make one accessory.
Maybe it wasn't Lumithrite. What's the other ore?
Lumithrite is cheaper. It's it's Smithonite ore that is like 50k. That one is for the accessories.
Okay, yeah, Lumithrite's really cheap. Smithsonite, I remember, it went down to I think it's like 30k on Gilgamesh right now.
Yeah, so if you have a Balathia or which one is Sky? Sea of Clouds. If you have that folklore book unlocked, you're just in the money as a gatherer.
Alright, so now I know what I'm doing after this, because, I mean, as much as I love making a free, 700k a day off Beast Tribe quests, as much as I love that, I'm always down for more money, especially because I spent millions on these crafted sets, melding them. Ugh.
And the botanist one is actually double that price. Last I checked, Frost Cotton Balls was 100k each, and you need 3 of them to make one icon cloth. And one chest piece, most of them need 2 or 3 icon cloth.
Well, my botanist is 59, so I know what else I'm doing. He's literally a third of the way to 60.
Wait, I thought you said all yours were at 60.
No. My Fisher's at 50 and my Botanist's on its way to 60. I never said they're all. I've never said all of mine were 60. My minor is 60 with full
I don't know
gear.
why more people doing minor than botanists. At least in my server,
It's more satisfying for me
more
to hit
minors
rocks.
than
Yeah, I've done more botany than anything, and I get in fishing when I can.
I literally I love the satisfaction of hitting rocks with a pickaxe more than I do picking plants.
Oh, okay.
That's how it is for me.
But
When
it's
I see the axe
more.
come down, you know how when you're a warrior and you do butcher's block and the axe comes down and it's like, yeah, you can feel it. That's how I feel with mining when I hit the node. It's just hit the rock, and then I see the little HQ thing pop up, and I'm like, yes, got it. All right. So on that note, you were just talking about fishing. Is fishing in the diadem still a thing? Because that was a big thing we talked about last time. You said that was something not enough people were doing. Is that still a thing? Because I know you have less time in the diadem.
I don't think it's worth it anymore because you don't need the Sky Pirate pieces anymore. At least from what I see.
What about the retribution staff and the pterodactyls? Are they still on your server? Are they still in good?
Yeah, those are still very good because of raiding, of course. A lot of almost all melee DPS or bards use that food.
I use that food. I have 1,080 crit right now.
Yeah, I wish there was a caster version of that with spell speed maybe instead of skill speed. I wanna have more crit as well.
Are you still Scholar?
Yes.
How does it feel to know that as free as you should be to meld crit, you just have to meld accuracy?
Oh yeah, it feels so good.
It's I never miss. My energy drains never miss.
Yeah.
But I can also never get 1,000 crit on my Scholar.
Maybe with BIS dispatch you can easily reach 1k.
I'll have to take a look at it, because they're gonna be like, oh, what's that? You have open materia slots. Scholar's probably still gonna be one of those jobs that's always gonna have a market, like it was the last patch, because crafted accessories I think are always gonna remain relevant, just for the amount of accuracy you get from them. Always love that about the crafted. Always love that about it's always the accessories that's so controversial every time. Whether it's strength warriors, people who haven't read the patch notes and still think strength is good, and then you have people. Ugh.
That's why before the show I told you this patch is fucking good in that regard.
Now, since we're talking about gear, they had a new gear with red scripts.
For gatherers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there new gathering gear, and is it worth it?
Only the off tool, in my opinion, is worth it because the accessories you can't meld them, and they only have cheap GP, so you can't have extra gathering perception using those. So I would still recommend to go the crafted ones and meld them. But the off tool, it's really good. Everyone should go for the off tool because
because everyone has told me
avoid a lot of melding there, and you don't need the GP on that one.
Everyone's just been telling me, do not touch any of the red script stuff for gatherers.
Same.
It is complete garbage.
Yeah, it is, yes.
Okay.
And the off tool only if you don't want to spend gil on materia, then that's a good option.
That's fair. Because so what happened to me is I had sort of a Slyh situation, but I actually paid them. Somebody came up to me with a full set of right side stuff, like the offhand, all the accessories, and they were gonna just give it to me. And I said, okay, I'm gonna pay you for all this. he was like, how? And I was like, how much? And he gave me a super crazy discount. So I got the entire right side back in 3.1 for $3 mil,
That's
including the offhand.
cheap.
Yeah, that's 7 to 15 mil cheaper than it should have been. But at least I paid them. I treat my people
For all the shit that Mike gives me about not paying people. I actually did tip my crafter.
I'm proud of you for that. No, see, that's different though. Everyone should be tipping their crafters. We'll talk.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that when we get to the crafting section.
Yeah,
because that's.
But I did buy the mats with SOs and off the board, and then I paid him for what mats he had, and then tipped him on top of that. I even tipped the person who did my meld. So. Yeah,
we're going to be talking a lot about tipping here because crafting has become such a big deal. Tipping has never been a topic before, and now that it's there's people who are complaining about people overcharging for tipping, people who just expect tipping, people who won't do it without tips, and it's a whole mess. But we'll talk about that.
it's a gray line. It's kind of a gray area, so to speak.
I can't wait to talk about that gray area.
Yeah.
But one thing about the new gathering gear, they might be bad, but I noticed something on them. They are convertible to materia. I haven't done any experiments yet, but they might be a good way to get grade 5 gathering materia, because there seems to be no other easier way to get them right now. But maybe on the next show, after I've done some experiment, we'll come back to that.
Just got to let me know, and we'll get you back on for a short little segment right there. Short updates from Ashe. So you seem happier with the gathering so far this patch. Is there anything that you think they still could do better, or are you just generally happy with the outcome of gathering this patch?
It's really good. Just one thing they should do, they should reduce the cost for these folklore books, because they've been out since Heaven's Ward, and it's
and
like
ridiculous
99
blue script
amount
things
of gathering you need to do to unlock them.
I still didn't unlock all of them.
Yeah, how many folklore books do you have, Mike?
I got the one in Corthus, and I got the one in... Not Slyh, because I always get pissed at myself, because half the time Aurum Regis ingots, or Aurum Regis nuggets, or whatever the hell it is the red script thing for the day, and I never have it, because I never did the Slyh. I think I might have done Sea of Clouds and Corthus. I think those are the two that I did.
Yeah, I think I have Corthus and Slyh.
These nodes are already limited and gated behind time, so I don't see a point why you limit them even more by unlocking them. Sure, have them unlockable, but it's a really ridiculous amount of gathering you need to do to unlock them.
Oh yeah, I've spent plenty of time in the hinterlands gathering blue scripts. I know plenty about this. Are you upset that they didn't add new scripts at all? Like it just stayed red scripts with this new stuff that was added in, or?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Where are your green scripts?
Battle gear is not gated behind these anymore. That's a really good decision they made.
Mike, I think you were just more upset that you just weren't right.
I'm a little upset that there weren't green scripts.
Green scripts.
Oh, but see, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reserve that prediction for whenever new scripts are added. Although I think with the lack of popularity in the red scripts, they may never do a script system again. They may just let it die here in Heaven's Ward and just add a few things to it, and then when the next expansion comes, I don't think they're going to do it again. I think that with how much gear is like available now without doing them at all compared to last patch, like it's such a huge shift, even though there's still some that is gated behind it.
I think they'll keep it, but there'll be major changes to it. I don't think they'll completely phase it out. So just yet, probably in the far, far future, they'll probably try to phase it out when it just becomes irrelevant.
Which was, as soon as it came out, everyone hated it. It was like, this is fucking stupid.
Now, Ashe, one of the big reasons we bring you on the show is because you're rich as fuck. Let's just go ahead and say it. You're rich as fuck. You know how to make money.
Good tact.
Yeah. A lot of people ask me, since 3.2, how would you recommend that a gather go about this patch? How would you recommend? How do I make money? What do I do? Is it better to do favors? What do I do? So how would a gather go about making money in this patch?
Well, favors are still very relevant, as I mentioned earlier. And you should, while doing favor as well, you should try to unlock your folklore books, because these new word notes are really, really good. So those are the two things you should do at the same time when you reach 60. Just do favors, and when the blue script notes appear, go gather those. And once you unlock these folklore notes, you're in the money.
I may have had I pressed the button on my keyboard and it changed to a different scene, so that's gonna be fun when that happens.
Good job.
Well, because you ever like
Days without incident 0.
Days without incident 0. It was my page down button, and there was like a little speck on it. So I tried scraping the speck off, like a speck of dust that just wouldn't come off at the light touch. And I pushed it down, and I found out that one of my scenes is macro to the page down button, which I thought I undid a long time ago. So Days without incident 0. I'm not even on the live show too. Like that's the worst part. Like this is a pre-recorded segment, and I still had incident. Now if I have incident on the live show, it's going to be even worse, because it's going to just double up on that front. All right, so on that note, we're going to wrap up with Gathering, because I think that while Gathering always has its little, things that they add or they do to it, it's really crafting where most of the grief was back in 3.0. And especially because there was grief with Gathering, all the grief with Gathering was brought over to the grief with crafting and then added twofold, because it was like you were gated behind 2 sets of red scripts, pretty much, if you wanted to do these things. So, now you're going to have to talk a bit slower for Sly and myself here, because this is the part where
I haven't really done any.
Yeah, mister, I'm going to level them all to 60. I got them all to 15. I'm almost there.
Hey, look, I've been busy. Sorry.
You've been busy.
I'm sorry.
Busy not killing the fucking A6 Savage Stone Sky Sea dummy. I saw that the other night.
I actually did get it. You
got it eventually. I remember, because you were like, I left so much on the table right here. I left so much on the table. You just kept saying it over and over again.
I did.
Like, for 60 seconds, like, I left so much on the table. So disgusted with yourself.
I was.
Okay, so I'm actually going to first start out by asking about the red script gear here. Now, Sly asked you about the new gathering gear before, but there's new crafted gear behind red scripts also, isn't there? Like, just trade in for red scripts, or was that just gathering gear?
There was for crafted as well, and I have the same opinion. It's just the off tool if you want to avoid a lot of melding. Personally, for the rotation I don't need to meld CP on the off tool. So this way I can just use these new ones. They are not meldable, but they are 10 item levels higher than the crafted one. And it saves you a lot of gil not having to meld the crafted one.
And the
so I recommend the off tool. The accessories are very bad. They only have CP and you can't meld them.
Oh
so
my god. But are they convertible also? I'm sure you checked that.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they are convertible as well. So I'm gonna try that once I'm done with the raiding part.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have a fun final raiding part. You have fun with that fight, by the way, between second and final coil. Not the best comparison for A8 Savage. Not the best comparison. Oh man.
Now, Mike and I both have near full sets of 220 crafted gear. I have my left side. Mike, I think you do have some accessories, or all your right side?
I have all right side, and I have body, hands, legs, and feet, but I picked up the prototype head and waist on the first week, so I decided not to get those.
Now, with all this crafted gear rolling about, has the market been healthier with all this crafted gear?
Of course. It's just running. Everything is selling, like, if you just put it up, after 1 hour at least, it goes.
I'm surprised so many people buy it on the market board, though. Because it is really cheap to make if you just have some esoterics lying around.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think esoterics is my moneymaker this patch.
That's my new gathering class, is esoterics.
Esoterics. That's all you do. That's all you do. You just do, what?
Few roulettes. You maybe farm Alexander at the beginning of the one Alexander run is like 12K in my pocket pretty much because of the price of esoterics is 20 esos, and it seems like at this point most people are capable of crafting stuff with the normal quality. You don't need the high quality stuff as much anymore, so the price difference is pretty much negligible there.
Yeah, only hard part is getting the 3-star requirement. Once you have it, it's really not that hard to HQ the actual gear. And I have rotation guides for them if anyone's interested.
Plug.
Now with the crafted mats, and Mike, this is for you. Have you just been buying them using the esoterics and just putting them on the board, or have you been okay?
I have two characters that I do everything with every week, and I just take all those esoterics, I add them both up. This is the first time I've ever made money on my alt, and he's got like 4 or 5 mil now, just from esoteric stuff.
Nice.
I did a lot of that because I had like 1,800 esoteric saved up, and I used that to get my crafted gear, and then all the leftovers went to whatever it was, and it was like 30K a pop for ESO materials when the patch first, like after a day or two of the patch hitting. So, yeah, I mean, that's why I had to ask about gathering, because why would I gather when I can make all this money on the beast tribes, which, Sly, if you didn't do the Realm Reborn beast tribes, you're probably regretting it right now.
I am, because I'm doing them now.
Yes. The good news is if you ever do a second anima weapon, you're going to have plenty of the tokens by the end of this.
Oh yeah.
In order to, I've already got like 8 items worth of tokens or something like that just from doing my Beast Tribe dailies every day. It's so good.
And a lot of people are all pretty much like near completion for their Vath.
I haven't touched the fucking Vath. Fuck them. Until they give me grade 4 materia, I'm not doing
What?
the Vath. I'm not doing the Vath till they give me grade
They
4
give
materia.
you lore though.
I'm sorry, is that a
And
problem?
the vendor of that is really amazing. They sell Aurum Regis nuggets. They sell hard silver nuggets, for example.
If I can't buy those Aurum Regis nuggets with 490 collectability already on them, I don't care about that. Because if I could just walk up to him and buy my red scripts every week, that would be value. What's more
Yeah, it
valuable
makes capping red scripts much cheaper.
that
because
would be a
they're
little
still-
easier. Oh man. So these new recipes, you said getting a 3-star requirement. Was that hard to do?
Yeah, it's still hard because you need a lot of melding, and material prices now are really crazy. If you didn't prepare before patch, you're kinda in a tight spot now.
I mean, I just have to ask because it seems like when people say it's difficult, but then the day of the patch hits and I see people with full I220 crafted sets, I have to question if it's really difficult out for people who are like established crafters because they're like, oh my god, new requirements. By the way, I hit them an hour later.
Yeah, because they already were prepared before the patch hit. That's why in the earlier shows I said just to get the gear even if you don't need it right now, because you will be behind when the new recipes come.
Okay.
Now, back to the whole red script thing. Isn't it a bit strange to you that they went from something so gated like red scripts to easy money with people spamming barracks and making like millions?
I was really, really surprised because even though they were gated back then, they were even worse than Alexander normal gear. And now they're the same item level. It's really crazy. I'm not saying it's a really good decision. I like it, but it's a really big jump that they did there.
I got to admit, I mean, I've considered getting a full set of 220 stuff for every job I have at 60. Just because that's what we're talking about. And then I have to question, do I even want to do Alexander normal ever?
No, probably don't need to. If you have the guild.
I love the duty finder, but I don't think I love it that much. I don't think anyone does. Okay, so they went from that heavily gating, but he has something about red scripts, so crafters,
I hope they continue with this formula. That's like
even though it's like, because you seemed a little reserved there because you said they went from one extreme to the other. They went from the extreme of not only is it gated, but it's worse. Now it's
worse,
not gated and it's equal, and in obviously most eyes better because you have the extra materia slots.
Exactly.
Yeah. So is that not too much? Do you want it to stay to that point where the scripts kind, because it seems like what it is now is the scripts have some things behind them, but it's mostly gating, getting better crafted and gathered gear as opposed to making everything with them.
Yeah, it's just to gate you to craft this new stuff. But if you have already done it before the patch, you're set. But yeah, like you said, it's kind of strange, but it's really good. It benefits both raiders and crafters because crafters can make gatherers exactly.
All right, so red scripts. So I haven't heard. I already told you gatherers. I haven't heard anyone mention red scripts. Crafters, same thing. I haven't literally heard anything other than the new gear. Do you need any red script items from crafting at all for anything that's new? Whether it's even the potions. We haven't gotten to talk about the new potions yet.
Oh.
The new potions, you need blue scripts, not red scripts, for one of the materials, and they are 3-star. And by the way, only one per recipe.
Of course they are. We'll talk about alchemy specialists in a little bit because I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question for you there.
Yeah, and speaking of the specialists, they seem pretty important this patch. How do you handle needing specialists for so many of the recipes?
Well, for me, I have 2 alts, so basically I have all specialists, but if you only have one character, if you're in a crafting FC, for example, you can, between your friends, assign each person with different specialists, so you don't have the same one, everyone. This way you can craft for each other. Like, I have Weaver specialist, but I can't do Goldsmith. You do the Goldsmith part for me, and I do the Weaver part for you, just like that.
Makes sense.
And they just give each other a cut of the end product?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, I mean, so he brought up Specialist, and he brought up Specialist because I wanted to bring up Alchemy Specialist. Do you have that one scumbag friend who wants to go Alchemy Specialist and help no one? Because I remember, because I'm in a crafting link shell just because I have I have a gatherer. So if people need to bring them items, I can. Although no one made any requests of that this patch because everyone was just spending esoterics. I remember one of the people who was, I think, Weaver, a leatherworker, he said, "Oh yeah, screw you guys, I'm going Alchemy Specialist." And everyone's like, "I hate you so much right now."
They even remove specialist requirement for the Sky Parrot and the relic item, crafted relic items.
Oh, that's good. That explains why they dropped a lot.
So everyone can craft the specialist, the recipes that were specialist previous patch.
Do you think they're gonna do that where they phase things out of specialist? They just kind of use specialist for the new stuff. Do you think that was just because those recipes were kind of in the first place?
I think this is the good idea. The older recipes, they can just remove the specialist for them. For example, next patch they might remove these for these new gear, so everyone can make them. It's just in the beginning, so it's like special, extra special.
It's a market.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it's like a market limited a little bit to a degree.
So do you know anyone who's an alchemy specialist? Because like max potions and decks are like 200k on my server right now. No one's making them.
Even if you're special, it's not that easy to make. It takes you like 2 minutes to craft one potion, even if you're in the fast phase, because these are 3-star and you really can't macro these.
And that's the thing I was concerned about with like max potions of strength, because that's what I wanted to try out. And when they told me,
you ain't never buying those, Sly. You ain't never buying them. I'm not ever gonna buy them. You're sure as hell not ever gonna buy them.
Probably not, because it's not even worth it, in my opinion. Try them out. It's not even worth it. The one that we did have on the board was like 110. It was high quality. I bought it and tested it out. It just doesn't seem worth it from the crafter. From the actual DPS point of view, but
I agree.
But from the crafter point of view, it seems less efficient to even make it.
Yeah, yes, exactly. I agree with that.
It's the new Draconian potion. Everyone was like, Draconian potions are bullshit. And then like now, so is there a new recipe? Does it make more than one yet for Draconian, or is it just way easier to make?
Sadly, no. I was really hoping for, please, let me make at least 2 per recipe. Even for this max potion, if it was at least 2 per recipe, then it would have been worth it to go for it, but no.
Forever X potions.
Yeah.
Forever X potions. I still got 300 jackpots left. I stocked up for the patch I didn't do World Prog in, so.
Well, with some HQ material, I managed to single macro Draconian.
Okay, that's
high
good.
Quality.
Yeah. Now, with the new recipes, were there any new housing recipes? Is there anything worth making other than a Moogle house? Because I still want my restaurant/strip club. So I need to make that.
There
happen.
are new housing stuff like the music. Those are really hot as well on the market.
I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people are getting faded copies from fights, because a lot of people are doing bird farms and whatnot. So naturally, people are going to get faded copies of music. Yet nobody's putting the faded copies up on the board. So they're
all getting them made and going back to their. Everyone has an orchestrion in their in room, right?
I don't.
In the in room, if you don't have it in your house, your in room at the main cities does have an orchestrion in it. Don't forget that.
Oh, the actual in room. I thought you were talking about the private chambers. Okay.
No.
Yeah, it feels like that's a market that people could corner, but honestly, I don't know the price I should put shit at, because it's. I know it's faded. I know it's probably worth more as an actual song, made, but shits and gigs, I have a faded copy of Heroes. Should I go ahead and get it made, or can I sell it as is, and how much should I sell it for?
Well, I don't exactly know the drop rates for this. The price will obviously depend on the drop rate of these things.
Funny thing was, even though I put the first one on the board, there was high demand for it. I don't know why, but there was high demand for it.
It's the collectionist. It's the collectionist thing. You know what? You know what is interesting? So did you see the screenshot of the group that did minimum item level turn 13? And so they said that you have an increased drop rate on music sheets if you do things at minimum item level.
That's what someone told me yesterday.
They got 5 faded copies when they did turn 13.
Of answers?
In one kill. In one kill, they got 5 copies.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Yes. So minimum item level for, and Coil is one of those are the ones that are selling the highest right now, like the turn 12 theme, I think, or Calamity Unbound. I know whichever one comes from there. I think Answers is one of them. People are paying a lot of money for the Coil stuff, and we haven't even talked about that yet. We haven't even talked about the Hyaligan and the new Coil gear, which I even forgot to put in the notes because I forgot about it till now. How have you touched that market at all? Crafting the new glamour gears for the Hyaligan and whatnot?
No, but I've seen the sale history for them. They are pretty hot as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
Plenty of markets, it seems, to get into.
Yeah.
So
And
I love seeing Ashe's smile.
As well, so.
Oh, they're specialists, son of a. All right, well, there goes my hopes and dreams. All right, I never even did the augmented pieces. I never had a single augmented piece made back in the day. That's how lazy I am with that. So I ain't never getting this Hyaligan stuff. All right, so moving on from that, the next thing we want to talk about is materia. So don't smile like that, Sly. You don't have your Realm Reborn tribes up yet. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know yet. Y'all don't know. Let me tell you right now about this market. So I log in. I get like 4 Savage Aims a day at 100k. I get like 3 Savage Mites, a couple of Heaven's Eyes, and then usually you get a few Quick Arm and Quick Tongues, which depending on your Quick Arms don't go for shit. No one fucking melts skill speed. But you know what you do? You wait till you get no, you don't. You wait till you get five Quick Arms and you go gamble them and hope you get a grade 5 anything back. I tried gambling. It didn't. I got a grade 5 of strength.
Oh yeah, they increased the rate you get grade 5 from transmuting 5 grade 4s, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
It
didn't help me, but they definitely increased it. And there's an achievement for it.
Yeah.
So remember, there is an achievement for it. So materia, for a lot of people, materia is really just being introduced the first time. Obviously, people who are hardcore gatherers, crafters are used to it. People who do world prog usually meld gear, but the majority of people don't touch materia. The entire group, the entire trek up from 1 to 60, and when they hit 60, they just never touch the system. So a lot of people have been introduced to it for the first time, and they're learning a lot about it. But the biggest thing that's going on right now is people are trying to find crafters to meld. They maybe don't know anybody, and they're going into Party Finder or Shout. And a big thing that's happening now is people are understanding that you're supposed to tip people when they do you a service.
Yeah.
I've seen some varying numbers. So I'm kind of curious what your idea of a good rate is based on your server. And if you want to give any sort of context to give people an idea of what your server's economy looks like.
Now, just for melds or anything?
Actually, you know what? Yeah, do that too. For crafting somebody a piece of gear with all the materials and melding, what kind of like acceptable tip rates would you consider for things like that?
You mean if they already have the material and gear, they request meld to you?
They request meld. Or
Okay.
or you can also give us the tip rate for if they bring you all the materials for like a piece of armor and you craft them that armor. Like they bring you all the icon ingots, all that stuff like that, and then they craft you the armor. And then you craft them the armor.
I would say if it's a HQ, because I've never charged anyone, but usually someone pays like 100k per piece. Like they bring the material to you. They also pay 100k, for example.
Okay, so 100k an acceptable tip. Obviously HQ, because no one, if you NQ something in front of someone, that's the most crafters I see don't ask for anything, and so a lot of them will even try again. They'll go buy shit and try again, just because they're pissed that they NQ'd it. It's what I've seen most of the time. Like, can't believe I NQ'd it. No, I'm going, I'm buying this stuff and I'm doing it.
Now, what about for the meld though?
I haven't melded in ages, but I remember in 2.0 when there was melding relevant because of the relic weapon. People would give 10k per meld, like.
That's the acceptable rate I've seen. On Gilgamesh, I saw 1 or 2 people asking, not just doing it and hoping they got a tip. They said, "We'll do it for 60k a material."
Yeah.
I was like, the only way I think you could get away from charging that is like if in your 2 guaranteed slots, I want a bigger tip. On the non-guaranteed slots, obviously, I don't want to charge you 60k a pop because you're gonna fail a bunch of them.
Maybe 1k for over melding each attempt.
I you know what I do? I tip them 1 gil. Because it's always a friend, and I'm always like, "Hey, can you do these melds?" Sure. All right, and it's like I tipped them 0 a bunch of times. I was like, "All right, for good luck, 1." One. Never works, and I end up like spending like a whole 27 gil, just failing a bunch of melds. But it works out. All right, so finally, big question. Sly asked you about it for gathering. I'm gonna ask you about it for crafting. If somebody is getting into crafting now, what should they look to do? They want to make some money.
Well, you can always research your market, but most of the time the actual gear for crafting and gathering, there's just the regular ones you can craft at level 60. Those sell for a lot, and even on the ones from 50 to 60 range, there are a lot of recipes for crafting and gathering pieces, for crafters and gatherers, I mean. Those are always selling, and they can also do culinarian. For example, baked pipira is like 57, level 57. If they want to make yield, they can also do that. But to have any profit, you also need to do gathering. You really can't make much profit if you just buy all the materials. So you need to like be self-efficient if you want to make a lot of profit. All
right, so gold level gathering, which if any of you are wondering how to do that, we did have Ashe on an episode where he told you how to go about leveling your gathers and your crafters. So look back at the older
Don't
episodes.
forget your Grand Company dailies. A huge XP.
And don't forget for your gathering your 4 times collectibles every 30 minutes. That's like 240k EXP every 30 minutes. You do not want to miss out on those, and it's so easy to do without gear.
Yeah, there are tools, and people always ask me, what can I do for my collectibles? Because I always forget what time. There are tools that actually remind you or alert you when a specific node is up or when a specific fish or whatever is up. So
there are plenty. Just Google it, you'll find it.
Yes.
You know what one of my favorite websites has become for like getting stuff gathered and crafted is Garland Tools.
Exactly.
Yeah, I use that as well.
Yeah, Garland Tools is a big one. Ariala I use for gear. So those are my 2 separate ones. Those are my resources. I don't know if you guys use. Obviously, XIVDB everyone uses.
I love Garland Tools. When somebody introduced me to it, I thought it was a godsend.
It's a Garland send.
Garland send.
Yeah, there you go. I was looking for the pun. All right. Well, okay, so that covers the majority of gathering and crafting. I left a little section here at the bottom of the notes, Ashe, if there's anything in particular you want to bring up that you may think that we have missed in this point, or if you have any sort of closing remarks regarding the market right now and regarding how you'd like to see Square Enix take it going forward.
So far, I don't have anything in mind. Just don't forget to cap your red scripts and... Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget to do that. Who forgets to cap the red scripts?
Favors are still important. They're still good, at least in my server. So just don't forget to do them.
Yeah, guys, don't forget to do red scripts and favors. Come on now.
Because you still need gear to reach 3-star requirement. That's why they are still relevant.
That's why I still don't do crafting. that's why I still just do gathering, pretty much. Oh, man.
Because looking in later patches, I think if they continue like this, which is really nice, you will be ahead of your gear. So when new recipes come out, you don't need to suffer and wait to get the requirements for the recipes. So you are a step ahead when the patch comes. So you can reach the requirement really fast.
And if you're a step ahead, I'm a step ahead because I'm going to pay you to make my stuff. Anyway. That's how I look at it. And besides, you want to get in on that market soon before people realize they don't need to spend like millions and millions and millions to get this stuff because it's so easy to get. Sorry, Esoterics. I saw Esoterics down to 2K one day, and then the next day it was back up to 11 because there's just undercutters being assholes. Who the hell undercuts 12K down to 2K? How desperate are you to sell?
Wow.
That you gotta ruin my market like that, and then it comes back.
That's not cool.
That's when you buy it and then put it back up for the normal price. That's pretty much when you decide to do that. All right, on that note, we are going to wrap up this pre-recorded segment. Wow, I literally guessed 45 minutes. 45 minutes.
Nice.
Right there.
Nice.
I'd say we made good time. So we're going to move back to the live show, but before we do that, we got to let Ashe sign off since he's unable to join us for the live segments. It's all right. It's all right, Ashe. We know the time is not exactly great. It's 10 a.m. for me right now. It's like 6. Well, it's almost 7 for you now. But,
Almost 8.
Almost 8? Really?
It's almost 2 here, so.
Almost 8?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, daylight savings. So you were technically ready. Okay, so you were ready an hour before I was ready. Okay, fucking hate daylight savings sucks. I'm going back to this topic one day.
Yeah.
I hate daylight savings.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Daylight savings, time is stupid. All right. On that note, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you at Ashe? I didn't even bother including your Twitter because every time I do, you tell me you never use it, so I just included your YouTube on the tab thing at the bottom.
Twitch with the same name, but mostly I'm on YouTube. But I stream on Twitch as well, from time to time.
You gonna stream 8 Savage?
No, because my group don't want to show our progression, so I can't stream. But after we kill, yes, I will stream Savage.
Hey, there you go. And best of luck to you on A8. After sharing that picture with you, I'm sure you're excited.
Thank you.
I'm scared.
Thank you, Japanese blog, for posting that. I've been waiting for people to find out about that for a while now. And that's all I'll say because that picture sums up exactly. I can't wait. It sums up a lot. It sums up a lot of heartbreak. Just because, just when you think it's over, Square Enix hits you with the brute justice. That's it. Just when you think it's over. Anyway, guys, we're going to switch back over to the live show. Thank you again for joining us, Ashe. Hopefully everybody is going to be a lot less poor after hearing you.
I hope so.
Fingers crossed people have more money by the time they're done listening to the show. All right, everyone, we're going to switch back, so we'll see you in 2 seconds when we awkwardly transition over. Hey, would you look at that? Sly can't even hear me right now. Stop playing. Why did it immediately go to the dream thing? I guess that could be... That leads into us going live again, I suppose. That works. It played the dream thing again for some reason. Like it's almost like it was on like a playlist, and it just went to. Oh, and now it's back to the replaying the old one. That's always great. So, Sly.
Yeah.
You can hear me. My microphone's turned on here. My microphone's turned on there.
Yes.
I'm proud of myself.
Good job. You didn't fuck up the live segment, but you fucked up the recorded.
Listen. It was a slip of the wrist, okay? That's all it was. It was a slip of the wrist. Nothing more. All right, so that was hopefully that was a good segment. I want you to know I still have not leveled my botanist to 60, even though I said I was a level away from doing it in that segment. It's only been 2 days, man. Division came out. I was playing Blade and Soul. Like, come on, man. I got things to do and stuff and things and things and stuff.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things and things and stuff. All right, well, actually, before you get into all the stuff you wanted to talk about, unless you want to wrap up something else in that crafting and gathering section.
And it kind of ties into it.
Okay. Well,
and we were talking about it at the end of it, near the end of it.
Yeah, I know what topic this is.
The market.
The market.
In specific, the ESO market. When we were talking then, the market was, you're going to see some fluctuation in the market. I was selling some shit at 40K. Today, when you put up the live segment, you want to know what I was doing?
What were you doing?
Readjusting prices.
Okay.
Because that 40K on the market has dropped down to 12.
Oh, it took you that long? It's been 12K on Gilgamesh for You heard me in that segment. I said it went from somebody undercut from 12 to 2.
Yeah. And even still the favor market, the Fox Club market, which you alluded to in chat.
Sly aka Fox Gloves, yeah.
Yeah. That was stable for a while too. You know, everybody, we were all happy. We were all making money. It was Foxgloves, high quality or normal, were going at 100K. It was fine until somebody wants to touch the fucking market. And now they go from 100K to 87. And that's not a big change, but to me it is.
Sly, shut up.
The market's fine. Everybody was making money. If you put shit at 100K, that shit was going. You didn't have to undercut. You didn't have to do a damn thing. It would move faster. Yes, I get it. But you would make more money. Just leave well enough alone. Don't touch the market.
I thought you were going to tell me it was like 60 or like 40 to 60. 87. Don't be
it did
bitch.
drop. Well, one day it did drop down, I think, 279. And that's it. But it rose back up to like 87. But still, that's a drastic change to me. In terms of the Foxglove market, which is the favor market, which is doing really well. I was telling people in my chat, because we'll get into this later too, I was wanting to put something in PF to just shut everybody the fuck up. Like, I know you're undercutting SOs and favors in the market. I just want to let you know Jesus is watching. See you at church. I was really about to put that on the PF.
What would the minimum item level have been for that?
It wouldn't. I wouldn't even put an item level on it. It would just been refer to comment. Refer to comment.
Then someone was going to join your party and get rid of it in the party finder, and then you'd have to put it up all over again.
But and this has been it's a common thing where people will ruin the market, and I'm surprised it took this short span of time for YESO market to be ruined. I wouldn't say ruined because, well, now
I expected it to take a whole hell of a lot less time. You know how many people have spare SOs? Literally, do you understand that every Alexander normal you don't get a drop is one SO material?
Yeah, I get that, but still,
I went 4 for 5 today.
Leave the market alone. You will make money. People need these. People need these things. You will make money. You'll be fine. You don't have to undercut from 40 to 17. You don't have to do that. It's fine. Your shit will sell. Just be patient.
I had a fly around my face. I wasn't listening to you for like the last 20 seconds. You were just repeating the same thing over and over again. So
I don't care. Because it makes me so fucking mad that it really didn't affect me until I really started doing favors a lot and putting a lot of shit on board and a lot of shit on the board. And, you know, I wouldn't take any. I'm still gonna take shit from you because you're gonna say like I get everything from the United Negro Dragoon Fund, which I haven't. But it just makes me irate. I'm sorry.
I like that word, irate. I rate your iration 8 out of 8, mate.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Sorry, are you done complaining about getting undercut by only 13K? You want to know what happened to me this morning, and I'm not complaining about it? My Savage Aim material, put it up for 100K, went back 5 minutes later, and it was 79.2. And by the way, it was 79. Let me rephrase. It was 79.2 at the lowest.
Feasible.
Sly was 5 minutes, and it's even more of a drop than what you had. Second of all, it wasn't like it was one person who posted one at 79.2. No, there was 5 rows of 99999s, and there was a row of 95. It was literally like 25.
The thing you have to realize is that like people are buying all of these, and it's adding up. It's not just one SO material people are putting up. It's like multiples. So
they're giving them discount deals.
Yeah, they're putting them. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I did it too.
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
Oh, is that his guy's? Is that the guy's name?
Yeah.
I don't watch football. I don't know.
Oh my god. But it adds up when you're putting multiple, and when you shoot it down like that, you're not making as much.
I'm still making money. I don't give a fuck. As long as people are too fucking lazy to do a Realm Reborn Beast Tribe quests, I will have money rolling in. That's all that matters. That's all that fucking matters right now. I see that right there. And as long as people are too lazy to do diadem, see that shit right there? That dollar.
It's not that they're too lazy.
No, they're too fucking lazy.
How many diadem parties do you have in your PF right now?
Probably 1 or 2. And that's up for hard mode. And then easy and normal.
And they're too lazy?
Fun. Yeah. People are too fucking lazy. And people aren't even doing it for that. People are just getting their Pegasus mounts and bailing. Listen, all I know is I'm sitting pretty on my brass spoils, and I can go in there and get more brass spoils whenever I want. And I'll just roll it in. Just dollar. Just like that. See that right there? See that? Where's my wallet? Here's my wallet. Here we go. Here we go right now. See that? See that? Dollar. There it is. There it is. I got an emote for it. Use it. Anyway. Oh, yeah, you have it now, too, because you finally subbed to me. I've only been subbed to your game Wisp for a few months. You know, that's fine.
Yeah,
better late than never. I understand. Returning the investment.
Yeah.
Here is your game Wisp sub back. It's like an endless circle. All right, on that note, a lot of people were asking us, yes, the circle of life again. Sabinian. I don't know the words. All right, so people were asking when we were going through that pre-recorded segment what picture I was talking about, so I want to talk about that next before you get into some of the topics that you wanted to cover.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who don't go to Reddit, first of all, I'm very happy for you.
There's a reason we say that.
And now, second, I hope we also don't go to the general discussion forums
Please don't.
unless you're trying to save yourself, unless you're trying to entertain yourself. Third of all, the picture in question was a picture of that a Japanese static posted of the final phase of A8. Now, I am one of the people who has kind of seen the race unfolding while everyone's kind of just been waiting for little hints and whatnot. So I had actually found out that this existed the day before this was posted. Apparently, people had known. I just found out that time. I was like, wait, what? And then this got posted, and I was like, oh, now I can talk about it. Now I'm fucking excited to know about this. So I'm going to pull the picture up. It's going to be super #professional because it's going to be a black screen. And then I'm just going to fix it because I actually wasn't prepared to show the picture.
Well, won't count this towards the incident. No.
Yeah, we can't count this towards the incident because it was kind of like unexpected now. Yeah. So this is the picture in question off of Reddit. This is a picture of a Japanese static reaching the final phase of A8 Savage. Now, yeah. That's brute justice. That's definitely brute justice.
He's changed. He's got a few upgrades.
He's got wings and he's glowing a little bit more.
Yeah.
Than he used to.
And a lot of people are dead.
And there's dead people all over. I would also like to point out triple melee and a machinist. I would like to point that out right here.
Boosh.
Yeah, so that's another interesting thing that people are talking about. It's the same that's the same party makeup that beat A4 Savage in China in like 4 days, or in Korea in like 4 days, I think. Whatever it was. But yeah, so I can't talk about this final phase in specifics, but I can tell you that he has about 1.8 million health, and there's other screenshots that say more details that I don't have handy, but yeah, this is a cool fight. They did a fucking phenomenal job on the A8 Savage fight. It is my new favorite fight in the game. Like, having seen the majority of it at this point, I can tell you right now, it is definitely my new favorite fight in the game. I'll actually make A8 and A7 my top 2 now. A8, A7, followed by A3, followed by fucking Thoradin, followed by A9, followed by Sephiroth.
Now, as someone who isn't, you're not in World First Prog right now.
No.
But you are in Savage.
I went into Savage for about 90 minutes, and that's it. I'm going in again tomorrow, I think, for an hour.
And I will still, put you in a World First Raider category.
Okay.
How do you compare this to Gordius in terms of rating, in terms of the rating environment?
Actually fun. A3 Savage was the only fight I thought was fun of the old one. Like A4, pretty cool mechanical fight, but it was boring as shit, especially as a melee DPS. It was pretty much only fun, quote unquote, for healers, and I use that in very, very, very loose air quotes right there. It is definitely the most fun. Now, a lot of people are beginning to discuss if this is actually easier than Gordius, or if it is actually between second and final Quail. I'm gonna say mechanically it's superior to both second and final. I'm gonna say DPS check wise it's between Gordius and second. Like, it's definitely higher DPS checks than second Quail. And the mechanical checks are closer to that of second Quail Savage. So that's really the big thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. A8 Savage, you definitely want weapons going into this. But I'd still say A3 Savage was probably, overall, looking at the amount of stress it put on everyone, I'd say that was probably still the harder fight. But this is definitely good. People who are not good at mechanics are going to get shit on in this fight really hard. All these fights, they'll get shit on really hard.
Now, one thing I always seem to mention in comparison to Midas is the difficulty progression curve that Midas had, where it had the wall, and then people got bored in A4.
You mean Gordius?
I mean Gordius.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think this is a much more linear difficulty curve. Some people think 6 is harder than 7. I think now that the bug has been fixed for A6, I think that's less of the case. 7's pretty fucking cool. I think 7. I was really impressed with 7 when I saw it, and then now I've seen like most of 8, and it's like, holy shit! Like this, it's just these are so much cooler. Like, these fights are just so much cooler.
So do you think that we're not gonna have that same issue, that same quote unquote lull and boredom that we had in Gordius, where everybody just either gave up or got tired of it?
I don't think so. 7 is, if you can get past 6, you can get past 7. That's how I feel. They're pretty close, and that's why some people argue which is harder. It's not like where 2 was clearly the easiest back in Gordius, and 1 was just like was not anything near 3 or 4. Whereas 3, a lot of people considered mechanically harder, but 4 had such a tight gear check that it was kind of ridiculous. So I think that people who progress through 5 will then, the wall they may hit is actually 6. But I think that 6 is doable. It's just that everything happens so fast that you need to be able to adapt and understand what is happening very fast, or you are going to have a harder time there. If you can get past 6, though, you can keep up with 7's pace. And then I don't even want to talk about 8, because 8's on its own level, kind of, and I don't think it's a wall. But obviously, we know from normal mode that the bots from 6 pop up. And you know how sometimes you do a fight and you go, man, what if they did this, this, and that during the fight? It pretty much feels like they did that shit with A8 Savage. And they were like, so we did this for A6 Savage. How the fuck can we use these things for A8 Savage? Oh, shit. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's awesome. Let's do that. It feels like what they did pretty much.
So even throwing out the difficulty, there is a lasting fun factor. There is a lot more replayability than Gordius had.
I would rather do these fights over again as opposed to the fucking fights from Gordius. Like, I never looked forward to doing. I didn't mind doing 1. I never looked forward to 2. 3 was always good fun, and 4 was like, let's just finish the fucking night. I don't want to. I don't see that happening here, because every time you clear A5 through 8 in a week, you got to fight brute justice.
Right.
That puts a smile on my face every time. Every fucking time. They did a better job. If they can if this is the kind of design they should have for fights all the time. Sephiroth was a step up. I think the whole patch, I think the 4-man dungeons were the only place where they just flat out didn't step up. And they just, like, said, fuck it. Just make them have one mechanic each.
One.
Well, I mean, Anti-Tower was like, really easy. But even then, Lost City wasn't that much more difficult.
It's not
Swama.
The thing is, it's not designed to be, though. You're designed to be get in, get out, get whatever gear you want.
Yeah, but I mean, I still enjoyed Saint Mocion's as a dungeon. Like, it felt
Mocion's was annoying.
It felt more like a dungeon to me than these two do. These kind of just feel like I'm running through like an open world instance kind of, and it's like that's the level of difficulty, like the level of difficulty that Final Fantasy 14 mobs in the open world. That's how it feels like when I'm running through Anti-Tower in Lost City, which is easy and it's quick to get through, which is good for me. But I barely do dungeons because I do, Alexander, or I do Sephiroth, or I do something else that gives lore. The Feast as of this Thursday, which we'll talk about here in a second. But everyone is going to love seeing the first kill of this fight. I can guarantee you, A4 Savage and A3 Savage, people are like, yeah, fuck that. People are going to love when the kills for this fight begin happening. Which, by the way, my prediction was wrong on that. I predicted last Friday.
Both of our predictions were wrong.
Well, here's the thing. I did say that if it wasn't dead by last Friday, that it would probably be killed at a similar pace that Turn 9 was. Turn 9 was killed on the Friday of the third week, so that would be 3 days from now. I guessed Friday of the second week because I didn't think they would make the checks as severe. Having done the A8 dummy, they did definitely step it up to the point where you probably want a few weapons in there. With the 240 weapons, the A8 dummy is really easy. The 230 weapon, actually, it's also pretty easy. The 220 weapon is close. Like, some classes can beat it, some have a harder time. And even then, sometimes it's a little bit dependent on, like, crits and whatnot, but it's usually still a doable thing.
Now, I know it's a little too soon to look this far ahead, but the next tier of Alexander, do you think the devs can...
I think it's literally playing out exactly like Coil did, and I think it's gonna finish playing out like Coil did, where first was super fucking like mechanically simple, but it was whatever, it wasn't that impressive. The bosses were like whatever, and then you have Midas, where the bosses are such a fucking step up from the first set, and then you have the third one where you've already so impressed with the second that even if the third ones are good, they're not gonna impress you as much as the second tier.
So it's not. So you don't think they can step their game up in the third?
I think the Alexander boss fight will be better than the Bahamut boss fight, but I have a feeling that that's not necessarily it's not gonna feel as epic just because, I mean, fighting Bahamut to the Answers theme is kind of hard to beat. You're not gonna put me up against Alexander unless you play Answers during Alexander, then maybe I'll feel.
Or they play no.
I don't think they'll play Dragon Song because it has nothing to do with
It makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably gonna be its own unique track, or it's gonna be another fucking remix of Embrace the Metal. I wouldn't be surprised for it to be either or for it to even be fucking give me the Thornton theme. I will fucking do that shit all day if it's got the Thornton theme. I don't give a shit. I don't care if it doesn't
buy
belong
my Thornton
to him.
theme.
I don't give a shit if it doesn't belong to him. I'm good to go. I'm fucking good to go.
Thank
there
you,
we go.
kindly.
Oh man. But anyway, yeah. So you guys have a lot to look forward to when Midas is finally finished. If you haven't seen 5, 6, and 7, Elysium has released their videos. You can follow them over on YouTube. Angered, I believe, has released videos. Solitude has released videos. Some JP groups have released videos. So there's a lot of videos out there, so you can check those out. They're very well-designed fights, and I highly recommend that you watch them. They're just it's good to see. Now, we were supposed to talk about the feast this episode. We have to talk about how we can't. We have to talk really quickly about how we can't talk about the feast this episode.
About that.
So actually, this is our fault, though.
How's it our fault?
Because we are so fucking greedy.
I can agree with you on that one.
We are so fucking greedy. So a lot of people I was gonna say last night, but yesterday were coming to my stream and they were like, "Is the feast coming out tomorrow? There's no maintenance schedule. There's no post or anything." And I'm like, I don't know actually now. So I tweeted at Bayonne. And God bless his soul, he answered. And he said, "Why is everyone asking this? Where is this getting in people's heads? Why do they think it's tomorrow?" And I sent him the quote from the patch notes, which said, "approximately 2 weeks." As I was reading it, I went, "It's Thursday, isn't it?" And I said to him, the other thing I thought it would be Thursday. And he's like, "Let me just say that statement on the patch notes is still 100% correct. Approximately." Then I believe Vid actually tweeted at him and said approximately to me means exactly. And then Bayonne tweeted the fucking definition of the word approximately back at him, which I thought was hilarious.
I did too.
I was like, I mean, it doesn't take much to win the internet nowadays, but that was a
But he won the internet.
That was a victory for the internet. Yeah. It doesn't take much to win the internet nowadays though. So last night, finally, they went ahead and they posted, just because people were asking so many questions, they posted the official maintenance. And it is March 9th going to March 10th. So March 10th at 2 a.m. Pacific, pretty much, the feast will be live. I believe that's the exact same time Red Scripts reset. Yeah, I think it's being put on the exact same schedule of Red Scripts, which leads me to believe, is there a weekly lockout for the feast of some sort?
That lines up with Red Scripts?
That lines up with Red Scripts? I don't know. I doubt it, but maybe they're just doing it so that way, like, when patches come out, we know to expect it on the Thursday after. Like, whenever they reset a season, it's not going to be on a Tuesday, it's going to be on a Thursday. So, that's what I'm expecting, but the feast will be out this Thursday. 3 modes, the 8v8, which you can queue in with 1 or 2 people, no Grand Company lockout. The 4v4 solo queue, and it is a strictly solo queue. You cannot queue in with 3 people like you could with the Wolves Den, and then just get 1 random and stomp the other 4 randoms. And then a 4v4 full light party. The 8v8, you need 2 tanks, 2 melee DPS, 2 range DPS, and 2 healers. 4v4 is 1 tank, 1 healer, 1 melee DPS, 1 range DPS. All you have to do is go to the patch notes and find the quest to unlock it. If you've unlocked the Wolves Den, I believe you'll be okay. I believe it's okay. The unlock is in Mordona for the feast. I believe if you have the fold, then you're good. Have you done any PvP this last week to get prepared?
No.
You should. It's been popping.
Everybody's been saying that. Sly, you should queue up for the fold. It's popping on
Even
this
the
server.
fold has been... That's the thing. The fold is what the Wolves Den was renamed to. And even on PvP nights, which is usually like Friday night fights and whatnot, it has been insanely fast queues because they got rid of the way that... So the way that you used to get queued into Wolves Den is it would check your rank, like your actual PvP rank. Mm-hmm. I'm rank 35, you're rank 1 because you're brand new or whatever, and it would try to give you an even rank, like it would try to even out the rank numbers between parties. So like if you had 3 50s and a 1 and then you had like a bunch of 40s and a 20, like it would try to give you something like that so that your rank numbers are as close together. It doesn't do that anymore, so the queues are a lot faster. Even amongst the, it's still the same people queuing. Now a few more people are queuing because they heard about that. It's you can do it. You can actually do it without needing to cheese the fucking queues with like all 8 people queuing in at once.
So is it balanced?
It's still chase the fucking healer, but
but is it balanced though?
It's level 50 Wolves Den still. Okay. It is still level 50 Wolves Den. I'll put it that way. But it's still better than nothing, And Astros are a little easier to kill. I take that back. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not any easier to kill at level 50 than they are at level 60. It's bullshit. But it's been good. And Seal Rock also has been popping a lot. As the adders, I got like 6 wins over like 2 days, over like maybe like 3 or 4 hours of queuing. It was really good. Working on that ADS mount.
Oh, by the way, I got my turtle. Speaking of mounts.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yes.
You finally did your gold saucer?
What do you mean finally? I've been doing that every day.
Yeah, because we've been harassing you.
Sly, did you do your gold saucer? Yeah, even when you don't remind me, I do it. And yesterday,
I don't remind you. They remind you.
Yeah, they do.
I just remind you on these days, on Tuesdays.
And I had to do chocobo races and mini games just to even close it out because of the challenge log. I was just that close, but yeah, got my turtle.
Nice. Yeah. So you know what the mount is for the feast, right?
What is it?
I believe it's another like mana cutter type ship, but it's called like the Gloria or something. I don't remember.
Does it look exactly?
I don't know what it looks like. I haven't looked at like any sort of diggings or whatever. Not, but I forget. Someone will post it in the chat now that I mentioned it. But there is also a mount for winning enough feast games. Are you going to go for 4v4s for your rank, or are you going to do the 8v8, which is because now, so they were going to have a 4v4 like non-ranked mode. They're not doing that. The only non-ranked mode now is 8v8.
Will that be the main ranked mode in
The main ranked modes are 4v4s.
That's what I was asking.
Light party.
So that's where you're going to get your tiers from.
That's where you're going to get your tiers from. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and also the arena is smaller on 4v4 than it is on 8v8.
Yeah, which I was right about.
Hey, I guessed it too. I said that it looks like the arena's smaller, and it would make sense. We both agreed with that.
Yeah.
Are you going to PvP this Thursday? You feasting this Thursday?
I am feasting.
You are feasting? I think we're all feasting this Thursday.
We just hungry.
We just hungry. Until then, I'm playing the Division. That's what we're doing. That's what we are doing. Ha, ha, ha. All right, Sly, you had a bunch of things you wanted to add to the show, so I'm going to let you...
Not really a bunch. Just
okay, 2 or 3.
Yeah, 2. 2, okay. Really.
All right, go right ahead.
One small thing, because even before the show, when, there's a few things off topic that we can talk about. on the Lodestone or on the main Final Fantasy site, they've been doing Dear Dev Diaries, which are really interesting short videos. I think this one, Dev Diary Part 2, was 6 or 7 minutes, and it was about lore. So naturally, they would have the lore dev from Japan and then Koji. And one thing they touched on that was interesting was that the lore producer, I forget his name now, it escapes me, but he talked about Ashtenian and how in the job quest, he really didn't like Ashtenian. He thought he was sort of bland. There was no real vested interest in him. And then he brought him to the forefront in the main story and like loved him. And we're still learning. We're learning more about Ashtenian as a person, even though now he's Nidhogg. And he likes flawed characters. So,
well, a character that's perfect is boring as fuck because they have plot armor all the time.
Yeah. So anything with plot armor, it's just boring. And another thing that interested me in the video, and we always pick on Ethis about how he should have this FBI lore board. If you once you watch the video, they have that. It is a map of Eortia, and there's so much string and like little sticky notes on that shit. I'm like, that's what Ethis needs. So I would definitely go watch that video, check it out. Check out the first one. I still need to go back and watch the first one, but
they need to work on their thumbnails for these videos, because a lot of the thumbnails for the first one are some woman in like the worst like still shot that they could have possibly found. One of them, it looks normal, but the other 3 are this woman. She's like, you'll see in about like 20 seconds when the stream catches up. Yeah. It's like it's not a very spinning image of her. It's not really fair. So check out those dev diaries. It's always nice when the devs talk to us. We love it when they do it for the live letters, which, by the way, the next one is on March 26th. So we'll be talking about that. We'll have that to talk about in a few weeks. I feel like we're pretty good on shows for the next few weeks.
Yeah, a lot of
pretty good, because we'll talk about the feast and our initial impression. And the thing that's nice about the feast coming out on a Thursday is that we have a whole 5 days pretty much to kind of get thoughts on it. Not one day like when we do it on Tuesday.
Yeah, we just did it today. What did we think? And those are like the quickest shows.
Oh yeah, it's like it was good.
It was good. We need more. We need more time. It was good.
Great bait, mate. Rate 8 out of 8.
Yeah.
And there was one other thing that you wanted to add to the show on top of the dev diary.
Yes, because we didn't do this the other week because you had D&D.
Yeah, a lot of people were not happy that I rushed the show at the end. I was like, guys, I gotta fucking go. Stop talking.
But we haven't done a conversation with Hap in a while. So
I mean, who the fuck really cares what I say, to be honest? But whatever.
Really?
If you say so.
Okay. All right, but since we do have a new patch, something I wanted to talk about and bring up were PFs, DFs in videos. Because the first week of 3.2, all you can see in PF, please watch a video. Make sure you watch a video, please. Have some background.
I get blamed for this a lot. People blame Miz and like Zeno and me like it's because of people like you that people ask for videos in the fucking Party Finder.
Now I wanted to kind of separate like the DF from the PF and the sort of learning structure from that. What do you feel with new content like this?
Okay.
How do you feel like a person, an average person consuming content should learn a fight?
Fucking go in with 7 friends. That's how. Like seriously, if you want to be the person who like plays alone and like does and just literally only Party Finders things and doesn't have a group of people to play with, it happens. Like it's unavoidable. Some people just don't have the time to play with other people. Some people have to play strictly on their schedule. Sometimes it's hard to find people that are like-minded. But if you seriously want to experience the fights without ever doing a guide as someone who's a newcomer to the fight, you really need to expect to go in with either the very rarely filled learning groups or 7 people that you actually know or in your free company. Because otherwise, here's the thing, even for a lot of people don't know this. When you are first progressing on these fights, let's say you're in a group of 8 and you guys get together, you beat the fight on day 1. Great. Fantastic. Beat Sephiroth. The next day, you're probably not going to get to play with those same 7 other people again. And you're going to basically be teaching one new person how to do it. But it's usually a person that you know at the very least. Like, I'm just saying from like a free company standpoint, this is usually what happens. And it's just, if you're not willing, you got to always be willing to like put in the fucking legwork to get a fight done. If it's either it's going in first with all your friends and discussing strategies, or it ends up becoming watch a video because you're trying to go in with people that already have experience on the fight and you need to get caught up.
And it goes from that to that extreme so quick because I believe it was you cleared the first day, right? Or the second day?
Second day. I don't know how the fuck we didn't clear it on the first day. I mean, then again, we had to change people around like 5 times, so.
And pretty soon after that, once you made the video, the next day, all you saw in Party Finder, watch a video.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I went into the Party Finder the next day, and there was somebody who had the link to my video in the Party Finder. And I felt like joining and being like, hey guys, haven't cleared it, but I watched the video. I felt like doing that, but then I would have left the party immediately because I didn't want to actually do it.
So what does that do for the community for people who want to, learn organically instead of, let me just go watch this video? And because I feel like watching a video is one thing. You can learn from it. Some people are visual learners, and it's fine. But there's no greater teacher than experience.
Yeah, and that's why if you want to learn like that, you probably need to be in a free company of people that want to go in on day one. Like, if you aren't doing that, if you want to be the person who says, all right, fuck it, I'm going to wait a week and then try, odds are people are going to start asking you. This goes back to 2001, like MMOs from back then. If there was a fight and you didn't know it, guess what happened in 2001? You went and read a fucking text guide. That's what you did. Or some sort of, like, fucking 240p video that you could barely see shit on. That is how you did it back in the day. But it hasn't changed. It's been 15 years of the same general concept. Even if you don't necessarily learn the fight by watching it, you're not a visual learner, it's easier to see something and know that it's coming and then be able to process it without going, well, what the fuck does this do from scratch? It's like, oh yeah, that's right. This is the thing where you need to stand in the place. Okay, now I've seen it, and luckily I already know what it does. And it makes you're not only on your schedule, you're on 8 people's schedules, 7 other people's schedules. You gotta take that into fucking account whenever it comes to doing content with random people.
Now I'm gonna get this straight from the horse's mouth, aka you. As a content creator who makes content, who does.
Thank you for explaining what a content creator does, by the way.
Thanks. Who not only streams. You stream it on a daily basis, but you actually make YouTube guides. Like you said, there's Miz, there's Zeno, there's a lot of people who do this stuff. How do you think it's negatively affecting the community?
I think most people enjoy it, and you have the few people who think it does. Let's just say this. Doesn't matter who doesn't do it because someone else will.
Right.
You can tell the people who do it, nah, don't do it. You don't do it because then people expect a video. It doesn't matter. Somebody else will be like, there's no video on this. I'm doing a video on this. Because guess what? There's a demand for it.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. That's like people who...
It's almost like parsers, though. It's almost like parsers where it's a good thing, but there's a certain portion of the community who uses it in the wrong way.
I mean, I don't know how you... I mean, yeah, I guess using the video in the wrong way is... I haven't cleared this... I haven't cleared this fight, but I watched a guide, therefore I'm going to join this farm party.
Right. I watched the video. You should, too. If you didn't watch a video, you're not getting in this party.
Pretty much. Same as parsers.
Yeah.
Or having clear. I love somebody in the chat was like, I love when I see in the party finder that there's a clear party, which to translate, that means you haven't yet beaten it and you're trying to clear it. And then you request that people have a clear for the clear party. AKA, carry me, please.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Don't like that shit. Also, don't join fucking parties that have Loot Master turned on, for the love of God. There's so many people who are doing pigeon farms with Loot Master turned on, and so many people are still joining them. And then they go, I didn't know it was Loot Master. Read it. Don't join those fucking parties. And don't make those parties. You're an asshole when you steal that pigeon. And then you got to pay $18 for a fucking name change or whatever the fuck it is. I think it's $15 for $10 for a name change.
Right.
And then everyone still knows it's you, so it didn't fucking accomplish anything. And guess what? You're out $10 and you have a fucking digital pigeon. Fan-fucking-tastic.
How many pigeons do you have, by the way?
0, because they won't drop.
You've never seen one drop?
No, I haven't seen one drop. I've seen 8 million copies of The Fiend, but that's about it.
God damn, I've seen them drop. I've done so many bird parties, but I roll shitty every single time. But with that, I did something, and this was planned for last week, but with 3.2, what I noticed was a lot, like Happy said, a lot of those parties. Clear party, no bonus, yet they haven't cleared. And, like, every day or every hour, the party funders would get more ridiculous. So I had people tweet in their ridiculous party funder.
Oh, God.
And I sent it to you in the I sent you the link in the
your Twitter. I see that.
Yeah. All right. So we're just gonna read off a few because these are hilarious. Don't let me open mine up.
I never thought I'd see the day where you tweeted #you what mate. I never thought I'd read the day. Read the day, see the day. All right, you read one. This is your comment section.
All right, I'll start. I level 250 Seth EX farm. No, really, I cleared it. Must have cleared and been able to carry me. Loot master because that totally won't bite you in the butt.
I like this one. Seeking Bard for a progression static. Must have Discord webcam and look like Natalie Portman. It's not very clear because they don't mean they don't say if your character looks like Natalie Portman. Obviously you need the webcam, but like you could find a way around that.
Oh, this was a really good one. I level 211 male summoner looking for. I level 200 female scholar. Ceremony of eternal bonding for visa and housing purposes.
Visa purposes? Are you fucking me? You fucking me right now? I like this one that's specifically for you. Knights of the Ground is recruiting Dragoons only. Must have tanked the floor consistently. That's a good one. Did you join that?
No, I didn't.
You should. It speaks to you. You know what was funny? The day that the patch went live, I saw there was only one party finder on Gilgamesh, and it said, looking for A8 Savage, must have clear. The day, like literally 2 minutes after the servers came up, with a minimum item level of 245.
Oh, we've been getting troll PFs as of recent. Like, I think this past weekend, we've been getting a lot of the troll. I love the ones where somebody puts up one that says "What is love," and then somebody else makes one that says "Baby, don't hurt me." Yes. And then it's like you got the whole songs later. That one.
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Okay, this is a good one. Fate grinding for crystals. I level 220 required. Must have cleared 84S. Because why not?
Because why not?
For crystals.
Oh man.
Where was one of the other ones? Where's the one I put?
I don't know. Where is it? Slyh.
God damn it. You what, mate?
I have it right in front of me.
Read it, please.
Containment Bay S1T7 Extreme. Paying 100 mil to clear. Must have beats us Tasha at minimum item level. # you what, mate?
These are some of the ones I've seen this past weekend, and what got even worse was when they actually started putting people's names in them.
Oh God!
Like looking for someone to carry so and so, paying 100 mil, 100 mil per head for a carry for so and so.
This sounds like some hardware Hank shit going on right here from Gilgamesh. What? This sounds like the kind of shit I see in Idleshire Shout Chat. Is what it sounds like to me. That's exactly what it sounds like to me. Let's see. If for normal clear party, please have watched a video. I-210 minimum. Don't mess up.
Haven't seen a lot of no bonus. Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't seen any no bonuses yet. I haven't seen no bonus, or kick. I haven't seen that. I actually haven't seen that recently.
Cape Westwind Card Farm Party, Loot Master rules, first come, first serve.
Fucking Loot Master rules. Like, come on now. Come on now.
Midas Savage and Rage Learning Party Paladin. Only 8 warriors skip the phase.
Party Finder's so fucking stupid. I love it. It entertains me. I love it.
Yeah. That's why I made this.
Oh, man. Alright, well, you don't have too many more left on there, and I don't want to read all of them. So, alright, so we had conversations with Happy. Was there anything else you wanted to include in this episode, Sly?
No, that's pretty much it.
So
no bonus.
What's your schedule looking like on Thursday for the feast?
Might be another Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'll be up early.
It comes out
2 a.m. Pacific on Thursday.
On Thursday. Well, wait. Scripts reset at 1, I thought.
Do they? I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that depend on daylight savings though? Is it 1? Is it 2 right now? And
Time is stupid.
Time is stupid. I'm pretty sure it's 1 when there's no daylight savings, and it's 2 when there is daylight savings. I don't fucking know. Time sucks. Whoever invented time is an asshole.
Yeah. But I will be up. I'll be feasting very early.
Okay.
Breakfast.
Good. Are you going to go... Well, here's the thing. It's preseason, so I don't even know how much I want to do the 4v4 mode. I probably want to stick mostly to the 8v8 mode, but I want to do some of the 4v4 mode just to see how the solo queue is.
Yeah.
It's preseason. There's no rankings yet, so it's like the 4v4 mode is pretty much just there for balancing and practice, which I guess I should be a responsible player and give feedback on.
Yeah.
Well, we can't see Happy vs. Sly in the feast because his bitch ass is on Primal, but
Fuck Aether.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over all the RMT tells that my healer Happy got. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. All I hear is ding, 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 ding.
What if some of those were actual tells?
None of them were.
Oh.
None. You know why? Because there's fucking healer Happy. Who the fuck sends a tell the healer Happy? Oh, is daylight savings a Sunday? Does it change back to Sunday?
Wow. Have Jesus.
Thank God. See, I can make all the predictions. I'm the best.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of myself today. Fucking Trump. Today I'm really proud of myself.
Will you be saying that on Thursday?
No, on Thursday I'll be saying, sit down. Oh, man. All right, on that note, guys, we're going to wrap things up and move over into post-show. Thank you for joining us on this week's segment of State of the Realm. Hopefully, you're a little bit less poor after listening to Ashe talk a little bit earlier, and hopefully you're ready to see Brute Justice turn into his ultimate form.
Leave the market board alone, damn it.
Well, don't leave it alone, because you got to make some money, but just undercut him. Just don't undercut me.
Jesus is watching you. I'll see you at church.
If Jesus is watching me, then he's probably the one undercutting me on the fucking market board, because when I live stream, motherfuckers just immediately go and be like, that motherfucker just put that shit up, undercutting him right now. There we go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, Sly, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you, Sly, a.k.a. Foxglove?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Slyakagreyfox. You can find me on Instagram at Slyakagreyfox07. You can find me on Twitter at Slythefox. You can find me in Plot 14, Ward 5 of the Lavender Beds, home to the Foxhole and the Foxhound FC.
And the home of the Foxgloves as well. Everyone loves Foxgloves at the Foxhound. That's the name of the strippers, by the way, finally. We have a name for them, the Foxgloves. There you go. I'm down.
As long as they're not bitter.
And I'm your other host. I just teleported to my office to do something a little bit more formal. I am your other host, Michael, Mr. Happy Poveromo. You can find me everywhere at Mr. Happy1227. That's Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Also, on Uplay, it's MISTER Happy1227. And, Division.
Imagine you had to throw out a Uplay.
Yeah, I had to shout out my Uplay, yo. I had to do it. I had to do it, man. I was playing with Kitsuragi earlier. Yeah, we were fucking these guys up. I got myself this blue weapon. It's got this passive. I need a minimum of 65 firepower, 68 firepower, and 85 stamina in order to use the boost for it. Working on it. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. I'll let you guys know how I feel about the division like a week from now, and I'm probably like, yeah, never mind.
And
that's what happened with Destiny. I was like, yeah, never mind. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, well. All right, guys, we're going to move over into post-show. So thank you for joining us over on YouTube. This is where we'll wrap up. And everyone who's here, let's go over to the post-show. See you guys next week.
See you next week.
Take care.